Alright, so we've got some warmer weather here. I just saw a dust devil, a little miniature one, or they call it eddies or whatever, a little swirl of wind where the dust picks up in it. I guess there was tornadic activity in Texas last night, overnight, and the power went off in some areas about 3 in the morning. It's supposed to come back on this morning, but it's going through Mississippi and Alabama, I believe, here this evening. They're under the gun, and some of that is supposed to move up here to West Virginia, where it starts 11 tonight, I believe, and goes until about right before noon tomorrow. And we don't really get severe weather, but we do get winds gusting up to 40 miles an hour in the afternoon, maybe about 2 and 3 and 4, 5 p.m. Those few hours right there. But let's talk about Ukraine, shall we? And what's really going on. So I said it 2 years ago. Well, yeah, a little more than 2 years ago, when I was in Florida, that everything this is about is the biolabs, the biological laboratories that are U.S. funded. And what really determines whether a country's good or bad, a lot of people like to point the finger at Russia and say, oh, well, Putin is a dictator and all this stuff. But when you get right down to it, he knows what's going on in Ukraine. And Ukraine really used to be part of Russia anyway. So Ukraine can't win that war alone. And when he went to the Oval Office and tried to ask Trump and Vance for more money, I love the way that happened. I mean, we're the ones who voted majority Trump in office, and I think most of us are pretty happy with the outcome of that meeting between Zelensky and them. And Trump said, you can come back when you're ready to talk peace. Zelensky doesn't want a ceasefire. He wants the war to go on. And the reason he wants the war to go on is because of really the biolabs. That's a lot of it. I mean, it all ties into Hunter Biden and the paintings that Hunter Biden was creating. At first, I thought they were like equivalent to what a 3-year-old could do. I guess that's not necessarily true. Some of them actually are fairly detailed, but one of them I saw even had a snake on the tree. I was like, why is this guy making a painting of the Garden of Eden scene? But he's selling those for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Well, a lot of that money was being tied into these U.S.-controlled biolabs. And if you think that Hunter Biden is the head of the snake, well, no, he's not. He's just a puppet put in place. He's addicted to crack cocaine, for one, if that tells you anything. And his dad is just another puppet put in place in an illegitimate election. We already know that. It's been proven. 81 million votes didn't really happen. But we're over that now, because now we've got a new leader. And, you know, you hear a lot on the internet and stuff, and people talk, but at the end of the day, give it a fair shake. You know, we've got the next 4 years, and so far this is trending upward. It looks like we're about to get Doge dividend payments. People don't know how much, but it could be 5,000, but they're being called dividend payments. So that tells me that it's going to be a repeat thing. And that money appears to be going away from Ukraine and away from all these stupid programs that nobody cares about, and it's going back in the hands of the taxpayers. Now, we did hear a little bit about it might be going to people who earned $40,000 or more. And that would make a lot of people very angry who don't earn that. I don't earn that. I've been under 40,000 my entire life. I think the most I've ever pulled in, I'd say, is probably about 35 or 38,000. You know, and I'm 41, so if that tells you anything. I've worked 2 and 3 jobs for years at a time, but they're all low-earning jobs. Even the military doesn't make what you think it does. It's a little higher paying than most of your jobs that people are doing, though. I will say that. It's a little bit better. But I think it's high time a lot of that money gets kicked back to the taxpayers. So wait for it. Be patient. We'll see what happens. I don't necessarily think it's going to be 2026 of July when that stuff gets kicked back to us. People say it's impossible for them to find $2 trillion. That was their goal. They're finding more and more every day. They found $8 million tied up yesterday alone. So give them time. They are doing great things right now, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully you guys get that money. Hopefully it boosts our economy. These aren't stimulus payments, they're dividend payments. But a lot of people are saying, I'll believe it when I see it, and that's fair. We'll see if it happens. I think it will. But back to Ukraine and the biolabs. The one that Hunter Biden is tied into is, I believe it's called Metabiota, kind of like Meta of Facebook. You can kind of see the similarities of where the names come into play and the deep state and the actors in play here and what's really going on. Those biolabs, you know, it's the same stuff that China was doing in Fort Detrick, Maryland. Judy Mikovits came out and talked about Fort Detrick, Maryland. It's an army post. Well, really, they had their hands elbow deep in creating this stuff. So that's all I'm going to talk about for right now. I just wanted to expunge on what's going on with Ukraine. This is all coming out. Give it time. It's all going to come out. And I think we're going to see crimes against humanity being tried. It could be wishful thinking, but I think we're going down that road. I think it's going to happen. So stay tuned. We'll see what happens. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate you.